right, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Does my mic sound nice? Check one. Does my mic sound nice? Check two. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. How is everybody doing, man? What's good? So check this out. Check this out. Check this out. What up? What up? What up? Hello, hello, hello. Right now, I'm getting a video. I just made a clip of a video regarding the convention, and I just want to, I have so many clips to play. I don't know if I'm gonna get through all of them today. So what I'm going to probably be doing is I'm going to be putting up these videos for you guys to watch yourself. There's a lot of it's 2 days worth, roughly, probably not the whole thing, but a good chunk of it, 2 days worth of video footage. All right. I'm just going to kind of play some clips here and there, talk to you guys for a little bit, and then we're going to get out of here. All right. I can't say how long I'm going to be on here because I don't know. As long as probably need to be. All right. Let me see here. So right now I'm waiting for a video to finish, a clip, because it's going to be one of the clips that I'm going to be playing for y'all. All right. So let me check something out real quick here. All right. So yeah, we was at I say me, I was at a convention, the National Reparations. There we go. The mic is good. So the National Reparations Convention. All right. National Reparations Convention. And to say the least, I would say it was very confusing. All right. It was confusion involved, I say. So much so that I have, which is the video of getting it together, because I'm gonna have to email it, send it to my email, and then download it from there. But and then be able to play it for y'all. But so much so that there was somebody in the audience that had a question, which when she asked the question, it pretty much verified what I was thinking the whole time as I was there watching all the stuff go down. All right. Let me see something real quick. Let me see. What am I looking for here? What am I looking for? All right. So anyway, while I go kind of think through that, the National Reparations Confusion Convention is what I'm calling it, because there was a lot of confusion involved. All right. There was a lot of confusion involved in the situation. All right. Let me see here. Okay, I didn't do that. All right. You guys bear with me. And while I'm waiting for this video, I have some other videos. Let me see something real quick, as a matter of fact. Let's see if I got some down here. I don't think so. Okay. But we would definitely be pulling some videos up here. Let me see if I can get that video. All right, so we can't do that. Let me get that out the way real quick. I might pull that one up in a sec. Oh, here we go. There's the folder I'm looking for. All right, let me see here. Where we at? Let me see. I'm just deciding which one I want to show. While this other one's about 70% done. Like I said, there's so much footage. Let me pull this one up real quick. So much footage out here in these streets. So much footage out here in these streets. Alrighty. And I'm sure there's going to be, matter of fact, I should probably share that too. Yeah, because I thought about that earlier. Now that it's hitting me in my mind right now, now that it's hitting me in my brain cells, I think that's what I'm going to do as well here. Matter of fact, let's do that. I'm going to pull up, because people got in their feelings when I first did the analysis. This is before the actual event. All right. So before the actual event took place, I did my analysis of the reparations convention that would be at the time coming up. All right. It would be coming up beforehand. And so I just wanted to do a little breakdown to give an idea of what it could be potentially be about. Let me see something here. And some people have responded, and some people gave their comments. So we're gonna show their comments here. We're gonna give them a little shine tonight. There goes that video is done. All right, I'm gonna send that one out. Send that to me. Let's go. So we're gonna give them a little shine tonight. All right. Let me see here. All right, there's the one I'm looking for. Let me send that to myself here. Hopefully that'll go through without a problem. Okay, so let's go. Let me see. Maybe I should go on with this one first here. We can get it pulled up. Okay, let me try something else real quick here. While my dog is getting crump or about to get crump. Let me see if we can pull this up here. Maybe there we go. The comments are there. All right. So yeah, let's pull this up real quick. 18% on sending that other video. I'm going to turn off the volume on this one. Let's see where we at here. All right, this should be it. Yep. All right, so yeah, let's share this real quick. Let's pull this bad boy on the screen. There we go. All right. So this was when I did. You guys remember when I did the analysis video of the National Reparations Convention? This is before the actual convention took place, right? And just kind of go down a line of comments here, okay? Some of this stuff I'm not going to be reading because some people wrote a book. So, you know, let me see if this one pulls up here. There we go. Let me see. Like I said, man, you see all this? Folks is writing a book. You can tell people got in their feelings and wasn't trying to express anything in a short manner. No, I wonder, is this the one I'm looking for? This the only ones that's been under there. Let me try this one. Anyway, I don't see the one where I responded. I have some others that I responded to. All right, let me just see what's on the screen here. But I'm gonna kind of go down the line. All right, so let's bring this in full view. All right. So there was apparently somebody by the name of Aisha Shabazz. Let me see which one is the first one here. Let me see if they got a time stamp here. All right, so during the reparations convention, the actual convention that I stayed pretty much, the first day was roughly 12 o'clock in the afternoon to about 10 p.m. at night. All right. It was 12 to 10. Okay. And that whole night, that whole afternoon to evening time, all right, you guys stand by for a second. All right, so that whole time, pretty much the first day, during the first day, I don't remember hearing anything being spoken about Black Americans, about the reparations convention being for Black Americans. All right. What I did hear was a real brief by one or two people on the panel. One of the speakers was how bad it was for Black Americans, and there was some mention about Black Americans having it worse compared to places like Brazil, Jamaica, when it came to the slavery piece, right? It was mentioned, I want to say there's a lady on there, and hopefully you'll see her on one of the videos. It was mentioned that Black American slavery was pretty much the worst compared to all the others. That's about it. Not much said about it. All right. The second day, it wasn't mentioned until somebody asked a question about it. I think there was two people. I want to try to find this other video where the first lady, because you got to hear this. All right. And we can get started. Let me see, who's this? I'm really trying to find the one video where, and I'm hoping I didn't delete it by accident. I think I may have, but I'm still going to look anyway. Let me see here. Where we at? Let me try this one real quick. All right. I think this was the what I'm playing right now. Might have been. Oh, it might have been asked on this time. I think. No, let me see. The second day, to be honest with you, it didn't seem like a reparations convention. It seemed more like a Muslim Nation of Islam type convention. All right. And the reason why I say that, they had, I think he's the actual biological brother of Elijah Muhammad, if I'm not mistaken. And his name is Silas Muhammad, or maybe the son of Elijah Muhammad. Couldn't remember which one. But he was really up there in age. So he's either was a younger brother of his or a son of his named Silas Muhammad. All right. No disrespect to none of them, but it just seemed like it became more of a what their group is called the Lost Nation of Islam, or the Lost New Nation of Islam, something to that effect. And I think they are separate from the Nation of Islam that Farrakhan is head of. All right. So I think there's two types. There's the Lost Nation of Islam, and then you have the Farrakhan's Nation of Islam. All right. And so Silas Muhammad is apparently the leader of the Lost Nation of Islam. And, you know, day two, this seemed more like a Muslim type convention, and still nothing really about reparations. They talked about Afro descendants, and they talked about other countries, talked about Brazil, Cuba. And like I said, I'm going to play some of these videos so you can see for yourself. And, you know, see what I saw. All right. Let me see something. Let me see if this video is here. But let's get into this. Let me look this video up first. Well, I'll wait on that because I'm going to have to pull that up. So let's get into these comments real quick. Now, this was from, like I said, when I did the analysis of the reparations convention. This is pre the actual convention. And I did my breakdown of the actual website, their registration website. All right. And so this person here, I'm assuming it's a lady. I almost have a feeling on who this actually is, because there was a lady there. I think her name was Aisha Shabazz, and I think she said her last name was Shabazz. And so she commented on what I put out from, or what my breakdown was for the first one. So she says, at the convention, it was said several times that the fight is for Afro descendants. Now, I want you to hear this now. All right. Now, I'm busy talking about Black Americans, right? And you see my response. I wonder why, if the reparations talk was for foundational Black Americans, why were other groups crowbarred into the talk? That's what I responded. But this is what this person said. I responded to that after what she put. So it says, at the convention, it was said several times that the fight is for Afro descendants. All right. Pay attention. Afro descendants is approximately 250 million people scattered throughout the entire Western diaspora. All right. So even in her response, it's still showing and proving what I've been saying the whole time about this convention. Even in her response, she proves my point. Just that one sentence right there, she proves my point. Nobody was talking about Afro descendants. The whole mental, even when I was going there or thinking about even going, I thought that, okay, they're going to talk about Black Americans because this is the fight for Black Americans. You have other countries, Brazil, you got Jamaica, maybe Black people in the UK, Africa. They have their own fight for reparations. They're going to have to do their work to fight for their country, right? This is not going to be a thing where you want to call us, including the foundational Black Americans, you want to call all of us Afro descendants. Now, all of a sudden, you're going to determine the name you're going to call Black Americans, because Black Americans have gone through being called, I think this is like for the census purposes, Negro, Black, African American. There was another one, if I understood right, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, somebody don't comment already. Okay. What's up? What's up? What's up? How you doing? All right. So I guess throughout the years we were called Negro, Black, African American. It was a thing like there was one or two more other names that Black Americans were referred to as. And so now in 2023, maybe a couple of years before, and then you have, I know this wasn't like official on the books government wise, but also you have Dr. Claude Anderson in his books. If you study his books, he says that the Black Americans are the native. We are the native ones, because he was saying that we were here before Indians. And then somewhere down the line, when you start looking into things, the Black ones that were here before anybody European came, and before the Indians that you guys might know now, like the Red Indians, or some of them are white. And then we can, if it has to get down to going a little deeper, where you have a lot of these people today who calling themselves Indians and they just look like white people. You had something called the Dawes Rolls, if I'm not mistaken, and this is from Dr. Claude Anderson's work, where you had a lot of white people that had no Indian attachments whatsoever, and they were able to have their names put on the Dawes Rolls so that they can claim Indian and get all the benefits. So you see a lot of people today that they say they're Indian, and they might go around wearing certain little trinkets, but they look like just white people, European people. A lot of them folks are the descendants of white people back then who weren't Indians at all. They just had their names written down on the Dawes Rolls. All right. So that's what you're seeing a lot now. All right. So again, they were in the convention talking about, like I said, in the first day, I didn't hear nothing talked about, hey, this reparations for Black Americans. They was always talking about Afro descendants. They was trying to pump that in your throat and put that in your psyche and trying to make it stick. And once or twice, in a real small little mention, they were saying how bad Black Americans had when it came to slavery, when they compared the Brazils being enslaved. I mean, people being brought to Brazil and enslaved, people in Jamaica were enslaved, so on and so forth. One or two people mentioned that Black Americans had the worst slavery compared to all of them when the slave ships came over. Nothing was mentioned that the reparations for Black Americans. And then, like I said, you see in this comment here, when you guys look in it, this Aisha Shabazz proved my point. When she mentions at the convention, it was said several times that the fight is for Afro descendants. All right. She makes herself look silly in this comment. Afro descendants is approximately 250 million people scattered throughout the entire Western diaspora. But stuff I was referring to was foundational Black Americans. So even in her comment, this is from the other video I did prior, right? She's even proving my point that she's even bringing everybody else in to something that foundational Black Americans have a fight for in the United States regarding the government and what they owe. And companies, and not just the government too. You got these companies that are thriving today. You got Bank of America, you got the AIGs, you got Columbia University, and you got several universities. You have several businesses that have been out here. They all benefit from slavery. They benefited from slavery at some point. They all had their hand in slavery, and that's how they are striving and benefiting today. And their companies are large, right? One or two of these a few companies mentioned their so-called apologies and they were going to do this and do that for Black people, but I don't see no Black people being able to get any loans in Bank of America, right? There's always a bunch of red tape, and the same thing with these other companies. They were going to do this and they're going to do that because their companies benefited from the slavery, right? They're admitting this. This is some documenting. You go and research that. Several companies, I think Bank of America's mentioned it. AIG has been part of it, Columbia University, and I'm sure there's other universities. Just like I can't remember on the top of my head right now, but those are ones I do remember. All right. So she even says in her statement, Afro descendants is approximately 250 million people scattered throughout the entire Western diaspora. The term Afro descendant is already recognized by the United Nations, and it unites us all as one people. I don't know about you, but I don't recall nothing on TV, nothing online, anywhere else of the United Nations saying Afro descendants. Online anywhere, I haven't seen anything. So this either was kept really hush hush, or this is not true at all. They're just now coming up with this. And speaking on that, what it was mentioned, I might have the video here, or I can probably queue it up or find it. If not, like I said, I'm gonna try to provide all the video I have where you guys can see it free and you can comb through it and see what they were saying. Like I said, I have a lot of footage of this convention. All right. And so you can comb through it. I'll either make it clip by clip, or I'll just put some of them. I had like an hour, and like if one was like an hour 37, another one was an hour, another one was maybe 2, 3, 4 hours. I might have to chop them up because if I got them on my phone, some I have on disc, and I could just upload from where I'm going to send it so you guys can watch it. But if the ones I use my phone, I use a combination of my disc from my video camera, and then I use my phone to video it as well. Some I did live. I did some live stream clips, and I provide those as well. But others I just recorded them so I can get to them later. And what was mentioned in the Afro descendants, they was talking about Cubans, Brazilians, but yet the second day when somebody questioned it, all of a sudden, yes, it's about you, but we just figured we're gonna include everybody and figure out how this country is doing theirs, and maybe we can pull for some ideas from them, and so on and so forth. And then there's another video that I'm going to play for y'all shortly in a little bit, where they're telling people in the audience to text the word reparations to a certain phone number, which is a database. So once you send the word reparations to this text number, it'll send a question, and I'll play the video. But what it says is Malik Shabazz was actually explaining it in this video clip, and he was saying it'll send you 5 questions, you respond, you answer the questions, and then it puts you in a database. That way they can send you text messages to when the next convention and where, They can ask for donations. Yeah, ask for donation. Donations for what? Because it's been said that a lot of people are out here grifting, using reparations as a grift. And he said it in the video. That's what I'm saying. But let me finish this up right quick. Again, this is what Aisha Shabazz 7673 says. The term Afro descendants is already recognized by the United Nations, and it unites us all as one people, one nation. Notice how they want to give everybody in to the claim. And she proves what I was saying all along. Reparations are only paid from one nation to another nation. All people who have received reparations received it after forming their people into a nation. Our misunderstanding about the reparations process is the reason we were not sitting at the table and they were. This weekend, our elders came together for one cause. They didn't allow their differences to interfere with their pursuit of unity and reparations. We should follow in their footsteps. Oh, really? You think so? This says it all. I can just close this down right now and be out. I could just say, this episode is over. Because she says everything in a nutshell that a lot of people have been saying, that everybody from everywhere wants to get involved when Black Americans decided, and some, not saying all, because every Black American who's a Black American, a real Black American, they can trace their lineage back to, which the word lineage clicks in my head now. Let me finish this. But not everybody is understanding or knows about the movement for reparations, right? All Black Americans that can trace their lineage back to some type of ancestor who was enslaved in the U.S. But in this comment, she's putting all of us, we all going to get together. And it's real funny how when it comes to talking about when Black Americans, or some of us, are getting together talking about reparations for what was done, the slavery atrocities that were done here, now everybody wants to join on and latch on to it. Another thing that's interesting when it comes to wanting to talk about giving money that's owed, not something where nobody's begging for it, that's owed. Other ethnicities, Japanese, Indian, the so-called American Indian, Afghanis, Ukrainians, they're all getting some type of financial backing. But when it comes to us, everybody got to study and they got to figure this out, and let's all come together, right? So in this one sentence, it says it all right there. So she really played herself in the comments. All right. So what I put in here is, I wonder why, if the reparations talk was for foundational Black Americans, why were other groups crowbarred into the talk? The other groups can make their own claims with those that enslaved and or colonized them. Day one didn't seem to make much mention about Black Americans. It seemed like word got out that the talking points wasn't what some people were feeling, and that's when Malik Shabazz decided to mention that the reparations claim was for Blacks in America. And I saw those faces on stage didn't look too happy to hear that, even when Malik said he was a Black man outside of being an Afro descendant. Foundational Black Americans ain't stupid, or are not stupid. We know and see game when we see it and hear it. All right. Like I said, I could read a whole bunch of these, man. And then you got somebody over here, another person was commenting. Now, wasn't even the reparation. I'm doing the actual reparations breakdown today, but I did the analysis of their registration website. And I did my breakdown on it. And a lot of people, a few people here commented on it. Even one person commented, I think, using two names, and they got caught. They didn't think I picked up on it because they never responded back after my comment. All right. I think it's this person here, the righteous teacher 425. They went on with this. I listened to your analysis very closely, and I concluded that you lack a considerable amount of understanding, not only of the convention, but the plight of our own people. What people is that? The righteous teacher. And frightened to think that a mind such as you have attempting to gain reparations for our people, it's clear to me that you lack understanding. What I've noticed is then when a lot of people, when you touch a lot of nerves, they start to deviate to name calling, whether it's cuss words or things like this. You lack understanding, and I can't see you trying to get reparations for us, and never says who our own people are. So who are our own people? I'm asking now. If the righteous teacher is watching this live right now or catches the replay, explain when you mean the plight of our own people. What people are that? What people are you referring to? It says, question, when our common oppressor laid upon us, and you, the label African American, did you post a YouTube video breaking its meaning down and what it meant if Black people adopted its use as an identity? If so, will you please point me to it that I might hear your breakdown? It has nothing to do with what I said on the video. So these are the type of people that come on and put comments out and try to confuse others who might come on this particular page and start reading, and they might not watch the whole video, this video here that I did, all right, the whole analysis. They may not watch the hour and 5 minutes that I did talking about their registration site and what was on it. They'll just read that and read these comments. And so it was necessary for me to comment back. And notice when I put down here, one of my questions was, where are you from? Be sure to watch the next live. I'm sure you will enjoy it, which is the live I'm doing now. Thanks for watching the podcast 157. Be sure to subscribe and share the videos on this channel and tell others about it. Thanks again. And then this person responded back with another name. I think this was the same person. They came back with another name. I thought maybe you would address my comments, but you didn't. No problem. Thanks. Under True Media 5040. So this person, the righteous teacher 425, then changed and responded back to me in True Media 5040 because there's no other questions with the True Media name on it. So you see how the people come up here and try to play games, right? So basically, when I did the first video, let me pull that up again. When I did this one, that touched a nerve. And the nerve it touches the people that responded down here, right? All the comments. So this is telling me I did a good thing. I did a good job with my analysis up here for this video, right? And then, like I said, I read the Aisha comment, and she pretty much proved my point, what I was saying about this event before the event happened when I did the breakdown of the registration site. So Aisha Shabazz, you proved my point. And then the righteous teacher has two accounts. And I must have touched the nerve so bad that they forgot to respond back in the same name that they had all this to say in, all this right here. They forgot to respond under that name and changed up on me. I really must have had their panties in a bunch. Right? So with that being said, let me see if I can pull up one of these videos. for right now. I'm going to pull that up right now.
The process by which the nation of people is provided with the means, complete reparations, the process by which a nation of people is provided with the means to repair and restore their condition, achieve complete decolonization, and make themselves whole through the ability to self-govern, self-sustain, and self.
Let me go on and put that back. I guess this person is explaining what reparations is, I guess. So y'all can hear what they say.
Complete reparations, a process by which a nation of people is provided with the means, complete reparations, the process by which a nation of people is provided with the means to repair and restore their condition, achieve complete decolonization, and make themselves whole through the ability to self-govern, self-sustain, and self-defend with their own independent landmass, economy, education, culture, and not civilization. That is a functional working definition of what we need.
That sounds like a bunch of garbage. You know what I'm saying? Let's move that out of there. All right, let me see if I can pull up another video. As a matter of fact, let me get this video real quick. This is the one I said I was going to get, so let me pull it up. You guys bear with your brother. All right, as it's downloading. Hopefully it'll download while I change pages here. All right. Let me see, that's 700 and... All right. Hopefully it's downloading while I'm talking here. So let me see here. There might be another video I could pull up. So let me try this real quick. Let's see, which one do I want to pull up next? Let me see if we can pull this one up real quick here. There was a lot of nonsense going on at this thing, man. Let me pull this one up real quick. Now, this is supposed to be about reparations, right? And specifically for Black Americans, foundational Black Americans, right? You guys tell me what she was talking about. If this has anything to do with it. I don't know. I'll see if I play the whole thing. Let's just listen to this real quick.
Which will translate is the grassroots push. You know, and Sister Anita Bell, you know, you've been, you know, part of the grassroots movement for quite some time in terms of trying to get reparations passed, brothers in Cobra and reparations.
He said in Cobra, all right? They also was talking about in Cobra being part of this. And I forgot the other one. What was the other group? There was another group as well. But y'all go ahead and listen to this real quick.
Can you provide any updates regarding, like you can use the microphone?
Oh, I can switch the slides, and that way I can keep up with the slides. Because otherwise I'd have to turn all the way around to see it. Is that okay? All right. But a little bit about the grassroots. Yes, I came as the queen of the sky. Also known as the princess of Mars. But that is me being what I call cheering myself up because reparations is depressing. Let's just be blunt. In order to talk about reparations, you have to talk about slavery, which is reliving that trauma. or genocide, which is reliving a trauma. It's like I can't go to bed traumatized, I won't sleep. So I made this up, Exodus to Mars, and made myself a superhero and gave myself some superpowers.
She says reparations is just too depressing that she had to turn herself into a superhero from Mars. Something like that. All right. What is really going on around here? She says she had to be a superhero. Let me see. Okay, I think it's downloaded still, I think. This is the nonsense that was going on here. I think I have some other video of her as well. Let me see if I can find that one. Yo, it's crazy, man. It was crazy. Where there's a princess. Let me see if this one will play. I'm hoping it will. There we go. So let's listen to this one, man. It's crazy.
Social transition is the grassroots push. And Sister Anita Bell, you've been, part of the grassroots movement for quite some time in terms of trying to get reparations passed, brothers and Cobra and the reparations labor union. Can you provide any updates regarding, you can use the microphone?
Oh, I can switch the slides, and that way I can go to the slides, because otherwise I'd have to turn it all the way around to see it. Is that okay? All right. But a little bit about the grassroots. Yes, I came as the queen of the sky. Also known as the princess of Mars. But that is me being what I call cheering myself up because reparations is depressing. Let's just be blunt. In order to talk about reparations, you have to talk about slavery, which is reliving that trauma, or genocide, which is reliving a trauma. It's like I can't go to bed traumatized, I won't sleep. So I made this up, Exodus to Mars, and made myself a superhero and gave myself some superpowers. But it's funny how truth and fiction actually start becoming. I use a saying in Exodus to Mars that Detroit will make you believe. Thank you, Detroit. We'll make you believe. Everybody who said there can't be reparations, they probably don't understand we have power that up until now, we actually were afraid to use. We were afraid to use. And I hate to say this today because I feel like a dangerous woman. But I have to say, only women can say this because if I was a man, I'd be dead. So that's where we'll talk about grassroots reparations. But even though I'm coming as a comic book character, I have a law degree. All right, so I do.
So even though she's coming as a comic book character, she has a law degree. She had to make sure she lets you know she has a law degree, even though she's coming as a comic book character. All right.
Comic strip. It goes into animation by Christmas and Kwanzaa. It'll be a game. So look out for that. Exodus to Mars already has NFTs, and then we'll have coming technology courses because some of you don't even know what I said when I said NFT. So if you don't know what an NFT is, then you aren't going to know what AI is, and you won't understand why Detroit is on strike because of EVs. Yes, all of that you have to start knowing what it is because a robot can take your job. And reparations is important, and the unions, our potential allies, are looking at universal basic income, or should, because Ruby is the way of the future. And that's what we wanted to make our allies understand. But I also happen to know about black genocide from a CIA case that had an attorney crazy enough to do it in 7 states that had that CIA case alleged black genocide And because of that, it became qualified to go to the United Nations. So it is there now during this decade, international decade of people of African descent, where we have been forgotten for 9 out of the 10 years. Everybody else is so important.
She said African descent, not foundational Black Americans, not even just the words Black Americans. So far, Aisha Shabazz, what is she saying about Black Americans thus far? Or anybody else that gets put in or get in their feelings, what has she mentioned about Black Americans so far? I'll wait and I'll play. Let's continue.
So again, we're going to get out of this decade without our reparations. We have to get to a point. I know, Shabbat Shalom, y'all. We have to get to a point where we say, hell no. We got to get to that point. We have to get to the point where we're not just asking nicely, because we make these moral appeals. Maybe we need to be a little bit more direct. And I'm not saying violent, because of course you could get killed for that, but you have to also not be so scared. So, and you can still be creative at the same time. So part of the reason I bring up a comic book is that Exodus to Mars, the Black Martians are our allies. So we have a military without having a military. All right. Polygamy is something that we should also ask for, and I'm on the Detroit Reparations Task Force, but let me put the disclaimer out now. The views and opinions you're about to hear belong to Anita Bell and the Reparations Labor Union, a bunch of Black Jews in Detroit, but it does not belong to the Detroit Reparations Task Force, because we have some of the same challenges as you're just describing happening in the Atlanta, Fulton County area. So, from a Black Jewish perspective, we ask, what we want to follow the Jews' pattern in receiving reparations. So, you have to be a little Jewish here and deploy your weapon. Melanin. Melanin is our strength, and melanin is our weapon. So we have to either have a melanin strike or a melanin bank. All right. White Jewish reparations were paid after World War II ended in 1945.
Wait a minute, a melanin strike. You're going to have a melanin strike. That's going to help Black Americans get reparations. A melanin strike. All right.
Melanin is our strength, and melanin is be a little Jewish here and deploy your weapon. Melanin. Melanin is our strength, and melanin is our weapon. So we have to either have a melanin strike or a melanin bank. All right. White Jewish reparations were paid after World War II ended in 1945. It was based upon a treaty. That treaty is the anti-genocide treaty that we know today, that the United States finally signed on to. Let's say they agreed to it or approved by the Senate in 1988. Did you hear that? 1988. Anyway, it took them that long because they were trying to figure out a way to not be charged for genocide, because they committed genocide too, not just against blacks. Mind you, they dropped that bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So, the Holocaust killed 6 million Jews, and it was an act of genocide. But what happened during that story? Einstein was rescued out of Nazi Germany, and he became the discoverer of the theory of relativity, which turned into the nuclear bomb or atomic bomb that Oppenheimer, another Jew. Yes, but you have to understand, sometimes the only way to stop a genocide is to stop it. And that's what Oppenheimer did. He was not in Germany. His parents were immigrants from Germany. But he saw what was going on to the Jews in East, in all of that part of Europe, and said, how do we stop that genocide? And necessity.
So far, does it sound like a national convention, national reparations convention for Black Americans? What was this convention really about? Let's continue a little bit more.
Is the mother of invention. He created a bomb, and he did admit, now I am the destroyer of worlds. But that weapon, and he might admit for that weapon to be dropped on Germany, it was, you know, racist America, it was dropped on Japan. But the Japan was the ally or the Axis co-conspirator with Germany, so Germany got the message, surrendered. Jews are still getting reparations from Germany to this day. And we're talking about nearly 80 years later. So now we're fast forwarding 80 years, and Elon Musk wants to repeat history. So he wants to colonize Mars because he claims he's afraid that there's going to be a nuclear war on Earth. But he advocates nuclear terraforming of Mars in order to make the atmosphere more compatible for Earthlings. Now he wants to release a weapon on another planet. War on Earth. But he, and we're talking about nearly 80 years later. So now we're fast forwarding.
Okay, I went back a little bit because she started talking about Elon Musk and Elon Musk going to Mars. And Elon Musk going to Mars because he thinks it's going to be a nuclear war in the U.S. What does this have to do with reparations? And you see, she says she was the princess of Mars, and now she done deviated from reparations to talking about Elon Musk going to Mars and taking over Mars. Where was the reparations in this? I'll play a little bit more. I got another video to show.
80 years, and Elon Musk wants to repeat history. So he wants to colonize Mars because he claims he's afraid that there's going to be a nuclear war on Earth. But he advocates nuclear terraforming of Mars in order to make the atmosphere more compatible for Earthlings. Now he wants to release a weapon on another planet. In order to do that, it better be...
Wait a minute. You see that lady in orange right there? Let me go back a little bit. Watch her. Look at her body language. Look at her. Look at the lady in orange. Look at her body language, and look when she started looking around, like she even saying to herself through her body language, yo, what is this girl talking about? What is she talking about? Watch.
Earthlings. Now he wants to release a weapon on another planet. In order to do that, it better be unoccupied.
Look at it.
Otherwise, isn't that an act of war? But I'm just saying make-believe when I write up Exodus to Mars and saying Black Martians. But maybe America knows Mars is occupied, and that's why Trump started a space force. Biden didn't disband it. Matter of fact, he just shot down some UFOs in February in Michigan.
Even the dude next to the lady, the black lady wearing orange, he looking around like, they both looking like, what in the world is she talking about? And what does this have to do with reparations? Again, Aisha, if you out there looking or listening or watching, probably watching, not really listening. What was said about reparations? How you connecting going to Mars, and just look at the body language of the people, the people on the panel. Those two right there, the man and the woman. I'm gonna go back one more time, just a little bit, and look at the look at the expressions on their face. And y'all talking about going to DC and Chicago with this same nonsense. Watch the reaction. Watch the people. The guy in black, the bald head guy, kind of looks like Luke Cage. And watch the black lady in orange. Look at their reactions during this whole time.
Compatible for Earthlings. Now he wants to release a weapon on another planet. In order to do that, it better be unoccupied. Otherwise, isn't that an act of war? But I'm just saying make-believe when I write up Exodus to Mars.
And what you hear in people, you hear people in the background saying, yes, it is. You hear them agreeing with her. Yes, it is. Yeah, what is she talking about? What are you talking about? Again, just watch as she's talking, watch the body language of the people in that girl, not girl, but this woman in orange and the guy in the black. Watch their body language. Again, they looking like, what is she talking about? This ain't got nothing to do with reparations. Watch.
The atmosphere more compatible for Earthlings. Now he wants to release a weapon on another planet. In order to do that, it better be unoccupied. Otherwise, isn't that an act of war? But I'm just saying make-believe when I write up Exodus to Mars and saying black Martians. But maybe America knows Mars is occupied, and that's why Trump started a space force. Biden didn't disband it. Matter of fact, he just shot down some UFOs in February in Michigan. So if UFOs are just some crazy people with aluminum hats on, why do you have it now as a part of the armed forces? Wake up, people. They've known Martians were black over 100 years ago when Edgar Rice Burroughs wrote a comic book called The Princess of Mars, and that's why I chose this. The Princess of Mars is answering you. Now you have to understand the real reason they're going up there. This month, it was supposed to take place on October 5th. But the window is until October 25th, this month, NASA and SpaceX.
So she's talking about stuff going on at Mars. And she's worrying about what SpaceX, Elon, and whoever else, Bezos and whoever else, and that black people are the real aliens or the real Martians or something. But what does this got to do with reparations for black Americans? What has this got to do with it? You see what I'm saying? When I did my analysis on episode 150 or podcast 157, I told you it was going to be about nothing to begin with. And look what they put on there talking. I'm going to play a little bit more and I'm going to play another video here. All right.
Will launch the Psyche, and that's an asteroid. That is the Princess of Mars. Forbes magazine has estimated Psyche to be worth $10 quintillion in gold and other precious metals. Some metals they don't even know what to do with yet. $10 quintillion. So if you are about to launch to an asteroid worth that kind of money, does it matter if the budget, whatever budget you have, if it's less than $10 quintillion, it doesn't matter. You can shut down government. We got the money to pay for everything, including reparations.
Right.
We can
only afford to give $25,000 to people between 80 and 95 who are still living from a tragedy that happened 100 years ago.
No, it won't break your budget or cause the tax increase at all because you're launching to an asteroid worth $10 billion on an unoccupied planet. So how can you not afford reparations, whatever price we put on it?
That's right.
But no, if you're just going to make the rich richer, then you can't afford reparations, you can't afford Social Security, you can't afford universal basic income. But Elon Musk will have a colony on Mars to mine an asteroid worth $10 billion and he ain't got a share.
So she's talking about the rocks that are on Mars are gold or something like that, and they're worth 10 quintillion, and saying that the government, the American government, can't say they don't have money to pay reparations because they have this Martian rock that's some type of gold, and it's 10 quintillion, jillion, gillion dollars. And so they can't say they don't have the money to pay us. But Miss Princess of Mars, respectfully, you didn't even have to go that far. You didn't have to go up into the Milky Way to let us know that they have money to pay us. You can stay right down on here on Earth, because they're talking about putting Palestinians here. They talking about paying them money. They sneakily and quietly brought the Ukrainians over. The Ukrainian people, there's Ukrainian people in this country right now, and financing them. They're right now financing the Hispanics that came across the border in different cities, New York, Chicago. I think San Francisco too, I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that one. And they're actually moving people out of certain locations just so they can put these illegal aliens in there. There also was talk in the news a while back to make these undocumented illegal aliens police officers. So they giving benefits here. You didn't have to go to the Milky Way to let us know they got money. We see that they have money. They still giving money to folks. The so-called American Indian, there's a tribe. They always have it when they try to tell you it's one tribe, but when it's one tribe, there's a bunch of Indian tribes that are getting money. But this specific tribe, when the kids graduate from high school, they get about $200,000 just for graduating high school. So Miss Princess of Mars with the degree, we didn't need a degree to see that they still have money that they owe to us, and they giving all the money to other people here. They ain't have to go to Mars to get that quintillion dollar gold that's in Mars. They had the finances here. We all knew that. Anyway, let's get out of this one. And let's pull up another video real quick. I think we got the point on that one. All right, let me see. I can get this one pulled up here. Here's a very interesting video here. Let me make sure it's in here. Let me see. I might have to get out of it and then come back in. Let me see something real quick. So I know it downloaded. Oh, here we go. Let's pull this one up. All right. Y'all check this video out. And pay attention to the question. Pay attention to the lady who's asking in the comments. She's making along with her question and listen to the responses. All right.
Questions? Oh, yes, there's right here, and then there's the sister in the back. So, who's got the microphone? She had her hand up first, and then there was a sister in the back. The one thing, sir, right here. See the beautiful woman in the beautiful blue jacket or blue jacket, right there.
Good afternoon. I'm Phyllis Talafero. I am a psychotherapist. I wondered if I was in the wrong place. I wondered even if I was invited wrongly, because my reference for reparations doesn't start with Abraham, it starts with 1619.
I'm going to go back real quick. Let me tell you the reference she made about the Abraham comment. Because I don't know if I'm going to be able to play it. Like I said, I'll provide the video. You guys can go to I'll think about that in a second. Either it'll be in the link in the description here of this video, or you can go to another link, but I'm thinking about it. But Silas Muhammad, the person you see a lady in white, and then you see somebody behind her, looks like he has glasses on, and to his left is Silas Muhammad. All right. Like I said, I think that's either the son of Elijah Muhammad or maybe a younger brother of Elijah Muhammad, maybe. All right, so I can't remember which one, but related to Elijah Muhammad. He had a lady on, which I might play that video here in a little bit, do a dissertation, if you will, trying to explain that the black people come from Abraham. So the lady was kind of talking about Africa and the Abraham roots and this and that, and trying to say that, hey, your black people come from Abraham. He's from Africa or wherever. See, they keep on referencing other countries and they never really get to black Americans. They're talking about everybody else. But in this particular video, this is where it kind of got changed for a little bit. And it only came to them talking about reparations being for black Americans only when this lady came and asked the question. Outside of that, wasn't mentioned. So that lady that I showed you in the comments earlier, again, she played herself and she made my point. And this is another video. This is the actual video where they started talking about, yeah, for black Americans. But they still, even in this video, they still kind of deviate and explain and babble themselves into crowbarring other groups into the reparations claim. All right, so just kind of give you a little context to that. So now let's listen to this one and watch.
Oh, yes, there's right here, and then there's the sister in the back. So, who's got the microphone? She had her hand up first, and then there was a sister in the back. The one thing, sir, right here. See the beautiful woman in the beautiful blue jacket or blue jacket, right there.
Good afternoon. I'm Phyllis Talafero. I am a psychotherapist. I wondered if I was in the wrong place. I wondered even if I was invited wrongly, because my reference for reparations doesn't start with Abraham, it starts with 1619. It starts in Ghana, in West Africa. It starts in going to slave castles and seeing how our ancestors were held in slavery. My mother and I visited the African American Museum on North Avenue in Baltimore. My mother couldn't go in because she heard the bells, bing, 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 which meant Africans were being loaded onto slave boats to come to America. My wondering is because I'm wondering if we are going to be involved with the Congressional Black Caucus to bring things closer to us. They talked about reparations a few years ago, but it's lost. I'm very happy that we have someone on the Hill being trained, because to me, reparations starts right here. That's why I'm saying I'm wondering, I was invited as a wrong person. Reparations for me starts in America. And I've even thought about reparations so much, knowing that our free labor, the labor of our ancestors, were used to build Ivy League universities. In my head, reparations is admitting African Americans who are qualified students to these universities for free. That's a form of reparations for me. And reparations for me also is financial, total. I still pay taxes on my great-grandmother's property in Virginia from 1912, at a time where I'm understanding many blacks in this country did not own property. I'm wondering.
And another thing, before I can let her continue, she's kind of deviating off too. She talked about Africa a little bit, and I guess that's because she's trying to say like they were brought from Africa to America. She's kind of on point when she says, you know, she's understanding that reparation starts here in America. All right. She mentions 1619. I think there was some, if I'm not mistaken, stuff going on a little bit before 1619, if I'm not mistaken. But nonetheless, she's kind of on point, and then she's kind of a little off point on certain points. She's mentioned, she's getting ready to mention, I think, taxes regarding the house she has to pay that her mom lived in and she now lives in. And she's kind of saying that she thinks reparations should be free school, and also, I guess, not having to pay taxes for all those years of the slaves building up the U.S. and getting no money for it, just building it up, getting their backs whipped, and continue building up the economy of America, of the U.S. So, but what hasn't been mentioned also in this reparations thing was cash payments. Not one time did I hear anything about cash payments that I could remember. So, and another thing I haven't heard is the lineage of those who were enslaved in the U.S., the United States of America. The word lineage wasn't used, and cash payments wasn't used at no time. And they didn't say it was for Black Americans only until, I say her, but I think there was another woman before her, and I'll have to find that video. If I have it, like I said, I might have accidentally erased that one. I hope I didn't. I'm gonna have to sort through my videos again, because I'm almost certain there was a lady before her that specifically talked about Black Americans and reparations, and kind of was indicating like, why you're talking about everybody else. And then the lady that responded was the lady in white that I talked about a little while ago, when she asked her specifically, almost specific about, whoa, wait a minute, I thought this was about for Black Americans. And the lady went off on a tangent about something totally different, didn't even answer. And I spoke to that lady, not her that you see on the screen, but the lady I think before her. She had stepped up and walked, towards the back, and I asked her, I said, did you feel like she answered your question? She said no. So again, another proof. And like I said, I hope I have the video, because I like to show that I got proof, because some people will say, oh, you're making it up, but I'm not making it up, even if I don't have the video. All right. Hopefully y'all trust me on that. But yeah, the other lady I spoke to was like, no, I don't think they answered. She didn't answer my question. And she says she believed it was a grift. She believed what they were doing is just trying to grift. That's it. And I'm gonna play you a video. I think I got it now to show you why I say it's a grift and she said it's a grift. So I'm gonna be looking for that video here. Let's continue.
Hell, she was a lady. Lucy Taliaferro was a lady who bought 10 acres of land in Virginia that Phyllis Taliaferro still pays taxes on. So I am just wondering if I was invited wrongly, because my issue or thought of reparations is here. My issue or thought of where we're going to get our reparations from is here. So I don't know how I got invited. How did I get invited?
I think you got invited because you care, that's why you got invited, because you care about this issue. So
I think you're in the right place. You came to the right place. What you envision as the origin of impact from the injury or the crimes that your ancestors experienced. I think all of us here see the American government as the chief perpetrator, and that American government, which started in 1776, inherited or took over in a hostile takeover that's called a war. The corporations, the charter corporations of the 13 colonies that in 1619 our ancestors came here. So you're in the right place. It's the same criminal entity that you believe owes us. Everyone here holds that same belief. It's the American government, who we are fighting for reparations. We introduce the global African context because it's all interrelated, and we can pull from what our brothers and sisters are doing on the continent.
Now you see what he said? He said they pull from the African. So he's saying that, yeah, this is all for the black Americans and the reparations in America, but we add the African piece because, let's listen to that again.
Pull from what our brothers and sisters are doing on the continent, or in the Caribbean, or in Europe, and their struggle for reparations.
So he's saying with their struggle for reparations, they're pulling from the continent to see how they're doing things, but how are they doing things? I don't even think they're doing it. He said the Caribbean, I think, or Cuba. Let's listen to that again. I'm gonna get the word straight. Notice this. Notice it.
Because it's all interrelated, and we can pull who we are fighting for reparations.
And again, what he says still proves my point from the comment I showed you guys earlier and read. They keep on trying to say, yes, for Black Americans in the U.S. and the government, and they keep on still trying to crowbar Africa, crowbar all these other places into it, instead of just saying, yo, we just trying to get this for Black Americans. They have their thing going over there. He's saying Africa, the Caribbean, so on and so forth. But I really don't think they're doing anything about it. And if this group, this panel, and the others who were there have anything to do with trying to get all these other countries, and so-called including us too in America, trying to get reparations, what have you done? What have you shown us in this convention that's shown any type of progress? Because I don't see it. And I don't think anybody from Africa is pushing reparations. I seen that Ghana, there was a news story about the president of Ghana was talking about that, and that's it. But it didn't even say what progress he's made, what moves he's trying to make. Because this guy here, I think his name is Kim or Cam. Part of his name has Cam in it. And if they're doing something and you call yourself pulling from all these other nations to try to get like ideas, when I guess that's what he's meaning, pulling from, getting ideas from these other places, where has it gone so far? And as you see on the screen, what was the National Reparations Confusion Convention about? Because it was very confusing. So I wonder, they said their next stop is going to be Chicago. I wonder if they're going to talk about the progress they made from pulling from these other nations, pulling from ideas from everybody else. Let's listen back to this.
We introduce the global African context because it's all interrelated, and we can pull from.
They introducing that because it's interrelated. All of a sudden, we interrelated with the Africans, and they can pull from, as you get ready to hear him saying, pull from
what our brothers and sisters are doing on the continent.
What our brothers and sisters are doing in the continent,
or the
Caribbean,
or in Europe, and their.
Or Europe. Is Europe trying to get reparations? Did you hear what he said? Europe. Whoa, let's play that one back. I hope this gets shared out to a bunch of people. Hope a lot of people watch this, because another thing has been exposed. He mentioned Europe. Europe has been part of enslaving people. But you're going to pull from Europe? Let's hear that one again.
Fighting for reparations. We introduce the global African context because it's all interrelated, and we can pull from what our brothers and sisters are doing on the continent, or in the Caribbean, or in Europe, and their struggle for reparations. We can pull best practices. Also, we can utilize international covenants, international protocols, best practices. Also, we can utilize international covenants, international protocols, international laws in global African context because it's all interrelated, and we can pull from what our brothers and sisters are doing on the continent, or in the Caribbean, or in Europe, and their struggle for reparations.
Europe and their struggle for reparations? See, I didn't even catch that when I was there recording this. That's why it's important to get the video. He said Europe and their struggle for reparations. What? All of y'all need to stop. Stop trying to get money. That's what y'all doing. Just like the lady told me. She think they out for a grift. Even though I'm wondering about that lady, because the next day she seemed a little suspicious, because she hung out with the lady that I think wrote that comment, that I think might be her. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure. Because all of a sudden she was kind of buddy-buddy with the lady, but then at the end she kind of made herself a little distance again from the lady who I believe made the comment that I showed you guys earlier. But you heard this dude. I'm going to play this one more time and then let him talk on. Or who else? Because I think one or two other people are going to answer this lady's question. All right. But he said Europe and their struggle for reparations. Oh, who in Europe is trying to get reparations? Are you kidding me? Yeah, let's play this again.
Reparations. We introduce the global African context because it's all interrelated, and we can pull from what our brothers and sisters are doing on the continent, or in the Caribbean, or in Europe, and their struggle for reparations. We can pull best practices. Also, we can utilize international covenants, international protocols, international laws to further up our case here in America against the United States. So you're in the right place, you're invited to the right place. Your agreements, what you expect to come from out of your reparations efforts is the same thing we're fighting for here. So, just want to share that.
Sister, you're definitely in the right place. And part of what you hear from the international landscape or the geopolitical landscape is all relevance. When we talk about Japanese who have received reparations during the 1980s under Ronald Reagan, it was because of international pressure that was applied to the United States from Japan and other Asian nations.
And then this guy talking about Japan and, oh man. Yeah, again, that person who commented in my comments on episode 157, podcast 157. Keep it a buck, lady. Or a guy, could have been a guy pretending to be a lady, who knows. Listen to this dude now. We already heard the dude talk about Europeans claims for reparations. Wow. Now this dude gonna talk about Japanese. You see what I'm talking about? They bringing everybody else in it, not really mentioning nothing about Black Americans.
Just want to share that.
Sister, you're definitely in the right place. And part of what you hear from the international landscape or the geopolitical landscape is all relevance. When we talk about Japanese who have received reparations during the 1980s under Ronald Reagan, it was because of international pressure that was applied to the United States from Japan and other Asian nations who wanted to do business with.
So real quick, so he said there was international pressure put on who again? Somebody had international pressure put on them about Japan, and that's how I guess Japan got some reparations, something to that effect.
To the United States from Japan and other Asian nations who wanted to do business with Japan. So they would not around Reagan. It was because of international landscape is all relevance. When we talk about Japanese who have received reparations during the 1980s under Ronald Reagan, it was because of international pressure that was applied to the United States from Japan and other Asian nations who wanted to do business.
International pressure applied to the United States from Japan and other nations. Okay. See how they crowbar and everything. You see the dude in the white. Now the light-skinned dude, they crowbarring everybody else into this as a justification to say this is why we're going to, how or why we're going to get reparations for blacks in America, because we want to crowbar Japanese, their plight. And the guy in the white said something about Europeans have their plight with reparations. Yo, that's why it's good to catch things on video. You go to these things, you ain't always got to go there and be rah-rah. You just go there, document, and then let them speak. Because it's easy to be rah-rah. It's easy to go out there and be rah-rah and bout it. Nah, let them speak. And now they're revealing themselves. So what I mentioned in podcast 157 appears to be correct, because you guys are seeing it now. You're seeing the actual convention footage. All right. Let's continue.
With Japan. So they would not have been successful without international pressure. And so there's a correlation between reparations and international pressure. So I want everyone to understand that there's a relationship. So when you hear us talking about the UN and you hear us talking about Europe and Africa, these places, it doesn't mean that our focus isn't on our people right here. We realize that international pressure and influence and all those things apply to successful reparations claims.
Good point, brother. Good teaching.
Can I say one good thing to you, man? Man, you're in the right place, because this is a process. This convention has had leaders and reparations organizers from a variety of perspectives, speaking and presenting all weekend. That's the vision of this body called the Afro-Descendant Nation, which I'm honored to be a part of. And so where we are right now, we're in stages of a process. We're in a process of attempting to unite all of the...
All right, I'm gonna play that back, what he said, but I want to point something out. There was a part of the convention where, you know, the guy that's just talking, his name is Malik Shabazz. I think it's Malik Zulu Shabazz. And then, you know, the man to his left sitting down is Silas Muhammad. So I think I have that footage too somewhere. But what was happening was kind of a reorganizing of their group. I don't know if it's the Afro-Descendant group, what they're referring themselves as, Afro-Descendants. Man, this thing is, I'm glad I played this because somebody's going to see this and see the game. I pointed these things out now, so that's good. But I think they was doing a little reorganizing and they need to put somebody kind of in a leadership role. So Silas Muhammad had appointed Malik as the new leader. And on the video when I recorded, or at the, let's say when I was there, again, I'm sure I have the video footage somewhere. He kind of, you could tell he didn't really want to be in that position. And he kept trying to like get out of there and like, you know, ease his way out of not wanting to be, because I guess Silas Muhammad must be in charge of this group in regards to getting reparations. And so Malik Shabazz was trying to wiggle his way out of it, but you know, Silas was like kind of adamant about him in a calm and subtle way, like, no, I don't really want him to be there. So he just said on one condition, I forget what the condition was, but it just turned out he kind of changed the wording, or somebody changed the wording into, how about I just be the conductor? You know, because somebody was talking about earlier about conducting an orchestra. Like I said, this stuff was all over the place, man. It really had nothing to do with a solid stance on lineage-based reparations for foundational Black Americans and cash payments, as at least two of them, probably a few talking points they could have had nothing to do with that. They wanted to crowbar everybody in, just like I mentioned on 157. Y'all can go back and watch that again. But they try to crowbar everybody in. And he was trying to kind of slide out to be not like be in charge or nothing like that. But eventually he took it and, you know, said, I'll be honored to do it under certain conditions and blah, 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 blah. But you could tell he really didn't want to get in it, which makes you wonder. He seems like he might just been going along with the program, but not, maybe he knows a little bit better about, I'm not really feeling this, or he knows that the people probably ain't gonna really, the Black Americans ain't gonna really be feeling that. Because in the video, I got it downloading now. I hope that's it. It's downloading, so I'll be pulling that one up here. I think that was the one he mentioned. He is a Black man, even though he's an Afro descendant. So he had to put that piece in there to kind of let people know. And you can see kind of everybody's impressions on stage. Like, what? You know, they didn't have the too funny of a look, but, you know, they was kind of like staring into the crowd. You could tell a lot by the people's body language on here. Like I showed you a little earlier with the lady in orange and the Black dude with the black on when the Princess of Mars was talking. Buck wild. But anyway, let's go back to this video.
That's the vision of this body called the Afro-Descendant Nation. Right place. Good thing to you, ma'am. Ma'am. Hi. You're in the right place because this is a process. This convention has had leaders and reparations organizers from a variety of perspectives, speaking and presenting all weekend. That's the vision of this body called the Afro-Descendant Nation, which I'm honored to be a part of. And so where we are right now, we're in stages of a process. We're in a process of attempting to unite all of the reparations coalitions, all of the different reparations leaders to the table with their different perspectives, motivations, and backgrounds so that we can have coherency and unity in this movement. And in certain matters, as we go along, we have to sit down as intelligent people and like an intelligent government, and we have to vote and decide on our positions. And your position is an important position. And so we have a goal. It's one of our goals is to unite 200 national and local reparations organizations together so we can answer questions together that will give you meaningful answers. You are in the right place. And these are our motivations. We're trying to bring about unity in this movement and bring it about in a formal way to answer everybody's questions. And we want you to stay with us and stay engaged.
Yes.
All right, so he said part of their plan is to gather all these various organizations that are talking about reparations from all over around all walks. So I'm gonna take the assumption that not only means people from America, but from these other countries like Ghana, like I said, was mentioning. I know in the news, we did a news report, or I did a news report on my other channel, What's the 411 News, in regards to Jamaica was talking about trying to get reparations. So you guys can go there and check out that news story. I did it probably several months ago or to a year ago. And so I'm sure he's not only talking about the groups that are in America, because you have the Negro, the freedmen, you have the ADOS, of course you have the FBA movement. And so I know he's not only talking about those groups, but I'm sure he's talking about foreign groups as well, and trying to get, he said 200 some odd groups or whatever. Again, it still seems like combining all these people, but yet it's supposed to be about Black American reparations, but you want to pull from all these different countries that I'm almost positive not really going to care about America. They're only going to deal with their specific countries. All right, I'm almost certain about that. But you keep wanting to crowbar everybody in. That's interesting. Interesting. So what I'm going to do now, I think this video is ready. Let me see. Let me pull it up. Make sure I got it. Boom, 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 boom. Let me make sure it's here. I'm hoping it's here. Oh, hold on. Let me see something. It's not there yet. Hold on. It's downloaded, but I have to open it up. Hold on. We're going to get it in here real quick. No, this is the same one. It's not what I wanted. Hold on. Or is it? Let me see something real quick here. That is weird. Nope, that ain't it. Let me see if this one is it. There we go. That's the one I need to download. So y'all have to stand by on that one. I have to download this one now. I thought I had it downloaded. All right. In the meantime and in between time, let me go on and see if I can pull up another video until this video is ready to go. Let me see where's another video here. Here's one with this. Here's a lady from the California reparations. I guess the task force in California. We're going to talk about her real quick. Let me get this up out of here. All right. All right. So this lady in the white, that's a little bit taller than the other lady. She's apparently from the California reparations. And on the, I think it was the first day of the reparations, of the 2-day reparations, after lunch, they had what is called breakout rooms, where there was like 3 different like classrooms. And apparently this lady with the white on and a few other the people in the panel were in one room. And about 3 of the younger FBAs were in the room with them. I wish I knew they was in the same room, because I was in the room with Malik Shabazz and some older lady. And I don't know. I don't know if I have that video or not. I have it, but I don't know if I have it ready to queue up for y'all. But there was this lady here, and some other panels were talking in another space. I probably should have pulled that video up. But apparently this lady got real mad because the younger FBAs were mentioning cash payments and lineage base, and why you bringing all these other people in from all over the globe. And they really got some this lady apparently had a real little stink look on her face. All right. So I mean, there's a lot of evidence showing what's really going on here. And once I get this video downloaded and ready to go, I'm gonna play that, and I'm probably gonna let that be the end of it. And I'll just make the videos available for you guys for free to watch. And let me see something here. Real quick. Uh-oh. What's going on? There we go. Hold on here. Let me get this pulled up. Because it's looking like, when you start exposing stuff, YouTube wants to start trying to play you. All right, let me see here. As always, when you try to do your thing, when YouTube don't want you to expose stuff, then they start messing with your streams. But let me pull this up real quick so you guys will know where to go. All right, let me see if I can get that pulled up here. There we go. So you should be able to see that on the screen real quick. You see where it says Koji, the letters in blue right there. It says Koji, KOJI.TO/Thoughts of the Week podcast. All right. That is where you guys will need to go. And you'll be able to have access to all the video footage that I have in case you just want to go through it, sort through it. I might even, I don't know if it won't be available to download, I don't think. Y'all could have a way to do it if y'all know how to do it. But, oh, you know what? Nah, I don't think I'll be able to do that. But I'll make it available for you guys to see and watch. And, if you want to spend the time to look through it, fast forward through parts if you want. Or if you got time to look through all of it, like I said, it's several hours of footage. You can watch through it and let me know if you see something different. You know what I'm saying? If there's something different that I missed, that maybe may or may not have been shown or something. I don't know. All right. I don't know. But you guys can sort through it. So that's going to be the site where you need to go. That's Koji, KOJI.TO/Thoughts of the Week podcast. Eventually, I'm going to have a web address for that instead of going there. But for right now, that's where you can go. So jot that down real quick. And, it'll be available in the next few days for you guys to see. All right. So that's where it will be available. And those who are watching me on YouTube or Facebook, I will put that link in the description. All right. So you'll be able to click it there. Those watching on Twitch, I don't think there was a way for y'all to click on things. I'm about to start looking back to my Twitch account and see if there's anything else I can set up. So those watching me on Twitch can, get involved too. And hopefully I can put a link or something on there as well. All right. But that's where you're going to need to go if you want to see the rest of all of the videos, put it that way, that I have. All right. So with that being said, let's get back to this video here. Let's get that out the way. Let me make sure this is it.
Just a little bit. So, in terms of the California Reparations Task Force, where do we stand now as of today?
All right. Sometimes the videos go dark on me. Let me see if I can re-pull it back up and see if it will play this time. It should play, yeah. I don't know why it didn't play. That's weird. There you go. Let's see if it'll play this time.
Dr. Grills, just a little bit. So, in terms of the California Reparations Task Force, where do we stand now as of today?
So the task force sunsetted, we ended July 1 of this year, 2023. But that was after we held close to 200 hours of public hearings and 15 public meetings that most of them were 2 days long each. And included over 100 witnesses. We also had a very robust community engagement component that included dozens of community listening sessions, surveys and statewide polling, and the production of, 2 major documents, an interim report that was 500 pages long, and the final report that was 1,100 pages long. I want to say that the real work in reparations, where you're taking a legislative route, is not trying to get a task force in place. That's important, that's hard to do, but once that task force or commission is in place, and then it does its deliberations, it comes up with its findings of harm, and then issues its recommendations for repair to the legislative body, whether that's at a state, city, county, or federal level, then the real work begins. And that's shepherding those recommendations through the legislative process such that something comes out the other end, and that something that comes out the other end respects the spirit and intention of the proposals that were put forth. We are at that stage right now. We are an important thing that happened in our task force is that we included in the task force membership 2 members of the California legislature, a state senator, Senator Bradford, and a state assembly member, Joan Sawyer. That was a critical decision on the part of the state to do that, because they are now the ones shepherding our recommendations through the legislature. We don't have a strong commitment or belief in reparations among the California legislature.
So far, she hasn't said what those recommendations are yet. We'll see. Still a little bit more to go. A couple of minutes or so for her to talk. Let's see if she mentions anything, what those recommendations are. All right. Because right now she hasn't mentioned anything regarding what they came up with regarding recommendations. All right.
And our Black Caucus is small in numbers, and they're trying to get united, but that's holding us up, if I'm going to be frank, that they're not. There is support of the reparations effort, but we've lost unity around mission and method. So at this point, one recommendation has been put forth in terms of legislation by Senator Bradford, and it was related to the Freedmen's Bureau recommendation that was among, I think, there were, I would say, probably 3 or 4 recommendations that were contentious. The Freedmen's Bureau was one of them, for a number of reasons that I won't go into now. But Senator Bradford saw that as a placeholder for kind of establishing beginning to establish an infrastructure within the state that could oversee some components of the reparations process. We have, we're expecting that several bills will be put forward, likely in December, and not voted on until the next legislative cycle. In the meantime, several members of the task force have in fact quietly joined forces, and in the coming weeks we will be publicly releasing our strategy and share what we've been doing to try to ensure that our recommendations see the light of day.
So,
all right. So she never mentioned what those recommendations they came up with. I don't know why you holding that to the chest. Why you keeping that information away? But there you go. All right. So now I believe we have the video that I want y'all to see, and I think after that, because otherwise I can probably literally be here for 8 to 10 hours going through all this video footage roughly. So I just pulled up. Now, before I go, hold on. The lady, you see the lady in white, that's, I got the volume down or off, but the lady in white that was just talking, the lady to her right, kind of like she has the tan little jacket on. I have video of her. I was going to play that, but I'm just going to disregard. You guys can watch that. I want to try to clip them up for each speaker, put a video for each speaker. That way you can just see the breakdowns, and then try to, people who are in the audience giving questions, I'm going to try to piece that up for each person that asked a question. So this doesn't be a real long, drawn out thing. I'll just try to piece it all up and break it down. All right. But the lady to the right of the lady wearing white, she went into just like the Princess of Mars, the lady to the right of this lady with the white on, she went into a thing about Cuba and Brazil. She didn't say too much about, or at all about, Black Americans. I think she was one of the people that might have mentioned that I'm almost certain she was the lady to the right of the lady that's talking now with the white on. She was mentioning how bad Black Americans had it compared to the other slavery countries, people that had slavery in their country. That's about it. She didn't say nothing else. And again, like I said, nobody mentioned nothing about cash payments at all. Nobody mentioned about the lineage of those who were enslaved in America. They want to say, everybody for this country, we're going to pull from here. As you heard earlier, dude talking about Europe is trying to get reparations claims. Yo, so you can't say I was making this stuff up. All right. They have been exposed. The so-called Afro descendants, their group, that's not everybody. They call themselves Afro descendants. They just been exposed, and that's it. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this last video up, and I might be talking in between. I might be playing certain parts back again, so you can really hear and grasp what's going on. All right. So yeah, let me pull up that video really quick, and then we gonna get up out of here, man. I didn't even do an intro today. That's crazy. My normal intro. You notice that? Where we at here? Where we at? Where we at? Where we at? Here we go. There's the video. Let me pull that up. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's listen to this one. Again, I might be going back and forth a little bit, but let's check it out.
You asked a hot question, brother. When you talk about how to get the community involved, that might be a whole forum.
That's right.
But I do want to say, because I've been asked several times, the way everyone can get involved right now is to take this number and text reparations to the number I'm about to give you. Text 877-506-2184. The number is 877-506-2184. Lock it into your phone and call it the reparations vote. Lock it into.
All right, so he gave the number. I'm gonna play it back again, and he said, "Lock that phone number in and name it the reparations vote," something like that. So we're gonna play this back again. I want y'all to pay real close attention to the stuff he said. All right.
So you asked a hot question, brother. When you talk about how to get the community involved, that might be a whole forum.
That's right.
But I do want to say, because I've been asked several times, the way everyone can get involved right now is to take this number and text
And real quick, just to give some context to what he said at the beginning, there was somebody in the audience. I wonder if I have that part of the video, or maybe I missed trying to catch it, record it. But there was somebody in the audience, a guy, I think he might be part of or starting the Boston Task Force for Reparations, or he's part of the Boston Task Force for Reparations. And he was asking, how can he get, either him or a lady, one of the two, I think it was a guy, was asking how to get more people involved. And so this was Malik's, that you hear right here, Malik Shabazz's response, all right, about getting other people involved. So the guy was pretty much asking, I guess, for himself and for what he's trying to do in regards to reparations. And then this was what Malik Shabazz responded with. All right, so here we go.
You asked a hot question, brother. When you talk about how to get the community involved, that might be a whole forum.
That's right.
But I do want to say, because I've been asked several times, the way everyone can get involved right now is to take this number and text reparations to the number I'm about to give you. Text 877-506-2184. The number is 877-506-2184. Lock it into your phone and call it the reparations vote. Lock it into your phone, because we want you to take that number and share.
Take the phone number he gave you and call it reparations vote. All right. Take that phone number that he gave everybody. That's what he wanted them to do. The people in the audience, that was his response to the guy saying, how can he get others involved? And he said, well, hey, jot this number down and name it. You know how you have somebody's phone number and you say their name. If it's Dave, let me put in Dave, his name. Oh, this is, phone number is Dave, all right? Or Gina or something like that. So he wants you to call it reparations vote. And he's going to explain some more things about that.
Take that number and share that number with 100 other persons, and tell 100 people to tell another 100 people to text reparations to that number. I don't care what part of the country, and they can help us right now. Take 877-506-2.
Take that number, call it reparations vote, and then when you take that number and text the word reparations to that phone number, right? give it to give that number to 100 people, and then tell them to give it to 100 more people, right? All right, now pay
What
attention.
part of the country, and they can help us right now.
Yes, sir.
Take 877-506-2184 and text reparations. When you text reparations in there, that text is going to answer you back. And it's going to ask you 5 questions. And you're to answer by choosing A or B, or whatever the answer is. And then it's going to lock your number into the database for this movement. So every time we spread that number, every time we say, brother, sister, you support reparations, answer make your vote now and share it with your family, share it with everybody.
Yes, sir.
This number is now starting to fill up and give us the database. It's not it is a good vote, not the permanent vote, brother. Share it with everybody.
Yes, sir.
This number is now starting to fill up and give us the database.
So they're building a database of everybody who uses that number, responds to the questions. They're going to send text out. Hey, he's going to mention that. Hey, we're having the next reparations convention in Chicago, and whatever else comes with the text. Or there we're going to DC. And then listen to what he says in between there. All right.
It's not it is a good vote, not the permanent vote, brother Cam. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but we don't want to be behind either. Right now, we want everybody to share this number, to have everybody text reparations in there, and to have your family do it and to share with everybody else. That gets us started with our database. So then we can do what? Ask people to come to our next convention in Washington, D.C., and to the one coming up in Chicago, and to support by giving your donation or funds or to whatever we want, brother, to support the Chicago local
Say what?
community involved. That might be a whole form.
Say what? Do what? Hold on. What did he say?
It's not it is a good vote, not the to share this number, to have everybody text reparations in there, and to have your family do it and to share with everybody else. That gets us started with our database. So then we can do what? Ask people to come to our next convention in Washington, D.C., and to the one coming up in Chicago, and to support by giving your donation or to support by giving your donation or funds, to support by giving your donation or funds, or to support by giving your donation or to support by giving your donation or funds, or to whatever we want, brother, to support the Chicago local reparations.
To what? Support and give your donations and funds.
Or funds, or to whatever we want, brother. And to support by giving your donation or funds, and to support by giving your donation or funds, or to whatever we want, brother, to support the Chicago local reparations. Whatever we decide, we gotta have a database of some millions.
Yes, sir.
And we can get started. Right now, we are an army of organizers right here. This little small army of organizers taking flight. This is some strong potential right here. So all of these are good strategies that are currently being enacted, and this is why we got a heck of a foundation. I can't say enough about the good staff, structure, and officers that the Honorable Silas Muhammad and his wife have created for us to operate from. I mean, we have people that are dedicated, they have permanent staff that we know going forward. We have a great foundation already. Let's give it a hand.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm trying to figure out what they need donations for. But I mean, him saying that, he kind of put that in there, makes me think, like the lady said, it is all a grift. Because you're going to get donations and do what with it? Right? Get donations and do what with the donations? So, you guys heard it, man. That's what that convention was really about. From my observations and my thinking, you might have your thoughts and your observations, but from what I observed, it was nothing but a whole convention of confusion. The second day appeared to be more Muslim nation of Islam, the lost nation of Islam, the new lost nation of Islam. That's what some of them are calling themselves. So you got the new lost nation of Islam and their Afro descendants on top of that at the same time. And so, yeah, that's pretty much, man. That's about it, man. That's about as far as I'm going to go. I have a lot of video footage. What I'm going to try to do, I already have some already chopped up of the different speakers. So I'm going to start trying to get those loaded up so you guys can watch that. And it'll be available for you guys to check out. And you can decide on your own what you think this whole convention was about. All right. Again, for those that haven't put it on a Twitter page, let me see. It is on the Thoughts of the Week Twitter page, but it's not on my personal Twitter page. So I'm going to be rebroadcasting this to my personal Twitter page, and I'm going to have a link there as well for folks to catch the videos, and they can sort through it, with a fine-tooth comb, if you will, and decide on what this convention was really about, man. All right. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That was the National Reparations Confusion Convention, is what I observed about it. You take it or leave it. I guess some of you folks that was in the comments on my previous podcast, 157, let's see if you come back on this one. Let's see what you have to say regarding this 160. All right. So there it is. Appreciate y'all. Thanks for coming in. And hopefully next week, I try to do it every Thursday. I'm gonna change that weekly you see on the screen back to Thursday. So we try to do it once every Thursday. We try to come up with another podcast next week, hopefully. If not, I'm looking towards next Thursday. We're going to talk about Biden and the things he's done for America. And let's see if that was specifically for the Black Americans in the United States of America. And let's see if it's benefited the things he's supposedly done. Let's see if it's really benefited Black Americans as a group, as a whole. All right. So we'll see you then next week, man. Appreciate y'all. Share this out with your peoples. All right. Tell folks about it. Let me get this out of here real quick. All right. Tell folks about it. Share this out. I hope I've enlightened you some. And we'll be back again, man. You are rocking with the best Thoughts of the Week podcast. We will see you on podcast 161. All right. I'm out of here. Much love. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for checking out the episodes. I definitely appreciate it. We need to add some more people on Twitch, on all the channels, really. Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. We need some more people on there, man. Need some more followers and subscribers, man. So tell your friends, family about the channel wherever you guys are watching it from. Let some people know, man. We need some more followers and subscribers, all right? With that being said, again, you're rocking with the best thoughts of the week. I'm gone. Peace. You're rocking with the best thoughts of the week podcast.